Welcome into this week's Triumph Spotlight. Our guest today is Stephen Gosnell. Out of Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, Stephen's earned his spot as a mainstay in Virginia Tech football's wide receiver room, finishing third in receiving touchdowns on the roster in the regular season. And of course, Stephen and the boys are fresh off hearing that they will be competing in this year's Military Bowl up in Annapolis against Tulane, December 27th. Stephen joins us next on this week's Triumph Spotlight. This show is brought to you by Triumph NIL. The Triumph Digital Network is a fully integrated portal featuring individual channels for Stephen Gosnell and all of your favorite Hokie athletes. Visit triumphnil.com for exclusive engagement, merchandise, content opportunities, and subscriptions. All right, I think some introductions are underway from the high-tech studios here at the Corporate Research Center in Blacksburg, Virginia. I'm your host, Kyle Marshak. Of course, to my right is Nick Brown. Behind the desk producing is Will Stewart. And of course, we have Stephen Gosnell on set with us today. Stephen, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Well, let's start with the obvious. Some good news yesterday, right? Selection show, and you guys have the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium awaiting you guys. What's the team's immediate reaction to this selection?
Well, I don't know what the team's reaction was because we had the banquet yesterday, so we're sitting there eating, and everyone's basically just refreshing, all the news feed, waiting to get announced. So yeah, I guess everybody's definitely excited. It's a bowl game, good opportunity for finish this season on a winning record, and it's a good team we're playing.
Yeah.
All right, so you've had three brothers that were or are a Marine. How special is it to be playing in the Military Bowl? I'm sure you've been asked this question a billion times in the last 24 hours, but give us your short synopsis.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Having a lot of military background with my family, it's definitely an honor, be able to represent them, go out there, play for them for sure. And I'm sure they'll be in attendance, so I think it'll be cool for them.
Have you ever been to the Naval Academy?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
Annapolis is a fun town. Have you been out there?
I've heard it's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. So, and it's right there in the DMV area too. So Coach Pry had a great reaction that I wanted to hear your thoughts on too. He said something like 40,000 VT alumni live up in the DC area. Yeah. So is it cool thinking you'll probably have a little bit of a home field advantage up there?
Yeah, definitely. When they announced it, I thought it was cool for me because my girlfriend, her family, they're Hokies, so they live in that area, so they're about 45 minutes away from that. And I was thinking, a lot of people that's graduated from Virginia Tech live there, so I think we're definitely going to have a home field advantage with that stadium full.
Yes, a little more personal connection there. So, of course, this is all happening because you guys won the final game of the year. You beat the that community college up north in the Commonwealth Clash. You scored the first touchdown on fourth down. How did that make you feel? I know it was a little personal for you because I know social media got a little buzzy around you, but I just want to say that.
Yeah, I was excited. Props to Coach Pry giving us the green light on fourth down. Coach Bowen caught a good play. They basically bit, for run. I gave a little fake that I was crack blocking the safety, it leaked out, and definitely excited. Got excited about that, and it really just opened up the gates, and we just kept pouring it on.
Now, who is coming up with the celebrations and the bad boys? Okay. Whose ideas are all this going on?
That's Quan. Quan's coming up with every celebration, everything we do. Quan's got a creative mind when it comes to celebrations.
I love it. Well, a lot of celebrating because the offense has been so renewed in the latter half of the season. And he feels like Tyler Bowen's really spreading the field with you guys. And we saw that end around with Tucker Holloway. He did that with Xavier Turner-Bradshaw a couple of times too. What's it been like seeing the renewal and kind of the reinvention of this offense throughout the season?
Yeah, definitely. I think it starts with getting everyone involved. When a defense has to cover 5, 6, 7 different players, you really have to scratch your head. And then he's adding in like trick plays, misdirection. So when you're having to cover that in practice, you only get, 3 days of, full practice for most teams. So having to cover all those bases within a 2-hour span each day is very difficult for defenses. So I think that aspect, and mixing up the playbook has been huge for us.
Yeah. And how about the schedule now? It's holiday season, finals, obviously, so you're going to be a busy man the next week or so. But we've always been curious with that bowl game schedule. You guys just have, 15 to 20 practices. What do those practices look like day in, day out?
Yeah, so they're spreading the practices around where you're not going back to back, and they're taking the load off. So right now, we're getting quality work in, but keeping ourselves fresh. We're having good training sessions in the weight room, and then we'll have you'll have that period where exam starts. They'll have to give you like 4 or 5 days off. So you'll have exams, and if you don't have exams, you'll have an opportunity to like go home, see your family, chill out for a couple of days.
So when do you guys go up to the bowl game? Obviously, it's December 27th. I don't think you guys are mainly going to go home for Christmas, but what's your plan personally for around the big day?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw the schedule this morning. We're going up there the 20th or the 21st. So I guess we'll spend a full week there. I don't really have my plan yet. I think they let you drive there, so I'll be probably driving myself up there.
Okay, cool.
Now, I can't recall when the date was throughout the year for the Pinstripe Bowl. So was a Christmas with the football team, is this going to be a new thing for you, or was that the case a couple of years ago?
Okay, so I wasn't here.
Oh, that's right.
Pinstripe Bowl, but I had
apologies.
I had Christmas with the team, so yeah, it's fun. You'll have a meal. And football is your family, so they make you feel like you're not missing out on much. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family, what's it like sharing 2 years of eligibility right now with your little brother Benji? What's it like having the annoying little brother around?
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's kind of surreal sometimes. In the moment when you're playing and practicing, you don't really get to think about it because you're focused on your job, your responsibilities, the playbook. But then when you kind of sit back and you look back on the season and, the things we've done together, being able to share the field together and knowing that we could possibly have another year of it is definitely been exciting, and it's been exciting for my family to be able to watch. It's just like high school right now for us. We've been playing together since Little League. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and Benji used to be a quarterback in high school, a linebacker as well. Any jokes about him being the better athlete? Is there competitiveness between you guys?
There is that, we don't put it at each other. That's more of our family, kind of instigating that. But we're definitely different athletes. He's for his size, it's crazy what he can do. Like, people don't know he can cut off, round off, backflips, full backflips and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which I could do as well, but he used to flip better than I could.
So I haven't seen a backflip celebration unless I've missed it.
Is that not encouraged, right?
Yeah, if you do
Fair
that
enough.
in the end zone, you get flagged.
Okay.
I think he did it at the end of the game, so you can't really do nothing about that.
Well, unless you're Bashal Tootin, then you just run into the student section.
Yeah, that
right?
is true. That's the scenario where you're at a comfortable position where you can take that flag.
Yeah.
All right, so you and Benji on the Tech football team. You have a huge family though, and you told us off air a lot of them are athletes. Who is the best athlete?
Who is the best athlete?
And who's the best at their sport?
I'm gonna go with me. I'm definitely gonna go with me. There's a lot of good ones. We've had track athletes, softball. A lot of my brothers have played football, but I'm definitely going with me.
So you said 12 siblings, right?
12 siblings.
Let's get a sense of the ratio here. How many of them were college athletes, including yourself?
Including myself, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there
3.
any more college athletes in the way in the family?
No, I don't think so. There's only one younger than Benji.
Okay.
And he doesn't really play sports.
Gotcha. Well, it's good to know.
Good stuff right there. All right, well, let's get to know you a little bit better. What are you going to do during your free time now that finals are going to be wrapping up and you're still going to be here in Blacksburg?
Oh, that's a good question. During my free time, I've got, some studying to do to figure out, but, I'm going to be relaxing, watching some Christmas movies, maybe able to head home for a couple of days. It's really too cold to do anything outside, so that's basically the summary of what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah. So when you transferred over from North Carolina, it was right when NIL became prominent in college athletics. How has Triumph NIL empowered you in your time here in Blacksburg?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely cool to see, what the platform they've given us just with social media. And to be honest, before Triumph, I didn't really think too much of it. I just thought if it comes to me, I'll do it, but I never really put myself out there. But Triumph's been able to, advertise for me and all that stuff, and definitely we'll focus on it more in the future in this off season coming up.
Yeah. Any fun community projects as well throughout the year?
Yeah, so we got to do one with the Hokie Way where we got to do a scavenger hunt with them, with people who do that. I think they do it every week. So we got to do that.
That's cool.
Big stuff right there.
Yeah.
You want to?
I think we can hop into the speed round now, get to know you a little bit more personally. You ready to go? Mm-hmm. All right. We always start with this. Any hobbies or interests outside of football? What is Gosnell spending his free time doing, really?
Not too much crazy. I like to go on walks. I like when the sun's out, I like to just sit in the sun, relax. I read a little bit if it's a good book. But those are really my hobbies. We like, me and Tucker, we like to go to the hill, watch the sunset whenever
That's sweet.
the weather's good.
Nice.
Stuff right there.
What books are you reading?
Meditations, Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some philosophical stuff.
Yeah, that's the one I'm reading right now. Another book I like, The Power of Subconscious Mind.
It's fancy stuff.
Then I like Tim Tebow's book. That's basically a few of them.
You ever heard Diary of a Wimpy Kid? it's a good series.
I think I read it probably middle school. I don't remember much of it.
One for the intellect, for sure. Well, you guys heard it here first. Stephen Gosnell is an intellect, for sure. I was not expecting that answer. That's pretty cool. So how long have you been partaking in, I guess you could say, philosophical type of books?
I wouldn't say very long. It started probably when I first got here. I started to do that. I also like listening to podcasts, stuff like that.
Good stuff. So, what's the pregame playlist? Are you bumping podcasts before games, or what music are you on?
See, that's something I've been trying to do better with, to have a specific routine of music, but it really could be anything. It could be anything from like relaxing music. Like sometimes I don't, you can get yourself ready to play without that, hardcore music. So sometimes it's relaxing music, maybe throw in a little gospel in there, stuff like that. But if it's routinely, most times I like to get Drake, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kanye on there.
Can't go wrong with that. Any other pregame superstitions or routines?
I like to grab a piece of grass and sniff it. That's the other thing, which is hard to do when you play away on turf fields.
That's right.
There's nowhere.
You're sniffing rubber at that point.
Usually when we play on turf, I don't do it.
So explain that routine then. What about just being able to get one with the senses of the grass, I guess? How does that help you connect with the game?
It gives me like a nostalgic feeling back when, you smell the fresh cut grass growing up and stuff like that. So I would say that.
I respect that.
Yeah, when I was playing T-ball, that was me sniffing the grass in the outfield.
We're picking dandelions.
My brother says the exact same thing.
All right. Well, if you want to play any other sport at Virginia Tech, what would it be?
Ooh, any other sport at Virginia Tech? Like, if I could do anything?
Yeah. And it could be club. If it's not a D1 sport, it can be a club sport.
They have fencing?
They do have club fencing.
I think
I have a friend who fences every once in a while.
I would try to do that. Or wrestling.
Or wrestling. Okay.
I've never wrestled. I'm not good at it, but to learn it would be
Looks
good.
terrifying.
Those are different dudes.
Yeah, they are different. So how about Fortnite? It's back. Is the team running it? I feel like I've heard some echoes of the team being a Fortnite enthusiast.
Yeah, the team's running it, but I've probably played one match of Fortnite in my life.
Wow.
I never got into Fortnite. I've never been much of a video game guy. When I had like probably a section of 8 months where I played video games, but it was only Call of Duty.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Can't go wrong with COD.
COD over Fortnite for Mr. Gosnell. All right. You asked this question.
All right. So
this is a real philosophical one, right?
you said that you're an intellect, right? So who's winning in a fight, a silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear? I think this is really revealing about someone's character.
Yeah. So I'm going a silverback gorilla because a grizzly bear is pretty limited with how he can move. He's pretty stiff, short arms. They can't use his legs.
Yeah, grizzly bears don't have opposable thumbs either. Yeah.
When you take a gorilla, you have the aspect of 4 arms and they can move. Okay. So I'm taking the gorilla.
Now I'm going to throw a wrench in here. What if it's a mama grizzly bear and there's a cub around?
That's an extra boost.
I'm still taking the gorilla.
Right there.
Gorilla?
I don't think the will can overpower the ability.
Okay. I feel like a silverback gorilla would have a lot more skill. So how about on the football team? Who's the closest to a silverback gorilla on the football team?
The closest to a silverback gorilla on the football
Who's putting up the most weight in the locker room?
Yeah, that's a better question. Yeah. Who's setting the records this year for weight room?
Oh shoot, that's a good question. we're going pound for pound or just overall?
Yeah, we can go pound for pound.
Yeah, we can go pound for
If
pound.
you're going pound for pound, Dwayne Lofton.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
He throws up the most weight for his size.
It's insane. You know, he don't weigh nothing, but he can squat like 600.
Oh man, 600.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight right there. So how about overall then? You got some O-linemen who are putting up some crazy numbers?
Yeah. Josh Fuga.
I see that, yeah.
Who else? See, that's the hard part when it comes to it, because when we max out, they're in a different lift group, because you know you have like sections of strength wise, and they're usually the last ones because they're the strongest. So yeah, Fugas come to mind. There's definitely some O-linemen up there that I can't think of.
Yeah.
What are
they're
you
all
throwing
putting
up on
weight.
the squat rack?
Shoot, like you want a specific number?
Max,
the most
yeah.
I've had 460.
That's still a ridiculous
That's still
amount of
cooking.
weight. Well, I think we got to know you pretty well. So we always end with this last question, just to try and reel things in. What do you want your mark to be by the time you leave Blacksburg?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to leave my mark. You know, I just want to say that I gave my all. You know, I didn't leave anything back. That I didn't leave an ounce of effort or anything on the field, and that I definitely helped contribute to the success of the team, winning record, and hopefully ACC championship.
Yeah, well, I think it's certainly looked as much. Nick, any final remarks?
No, I think
Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate you. I think we got to know you a lot better today, as well as some stories about the team. So, Stephen, we appreciate you for joining us.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Well, this is your chance too to shout it out. Get those fans over to the Military Bowl. What should we expect in this game?
I mean, yeah, everybody pull up. It's not too far. If you live in Virginia, everyone's in driving distance. You know, fill I think it's the Navy Stadium out, you know, fill it out. You expect we're going to come out with our hair on fire, ready to play. Everyone's going to be ready to play.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be pumped up too. Hopefully we hear some Enter Sandman while we're up there. So, yeah, you guys heard it here first. You don't want to miss it. Versus Tulane, December 27th up in Annapolis, Maryland. It's the Military Bowl. Virginia Tech and Tulane, the Hokies in the Green Wave at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. But for Nick Brown, of course, Stephen Gosnell, and Will Stewart producing behind the scenes, I'm Kyle Marshak, and we'll see you guys on our next edition of the Triumph Spotlight.